人間とは悪。人間の本性は悪な。
In the far remote village of Hoj, a priest named Orsi Orphai discovers two babies on the doorstep of the church in Hoj. He takes them in and calms them. Father Orsi wonders if the two are twin brothers, but they are neither. The baby on the right is Yuno and the one on the left is Asta. 15 years later, Asta is all grown up. He declares to Sister Lily he will become the Wizard King one day and ask her to marry him, but she can't, since her duty is to serve everyone. Asta won't give up and Lily uses physical force in the form of magic to reject him. Afterwards, Yuno appears and states that Asta is noisy, short, no composure and tolerance. Asta challenges Yuno to a fight. He tries to use magic and fail. A little boy named Nash explains that in this world magic is everything, and Asta is the only one he knows who can't use magic. Asta runs off in the skeleton of a demon to train his physical body since he can't use magic. The next day, Asta and Yuno attend a magic ceremony to each receive a grimoire suited to their abilities. Although each grimoire has a picture of a standard 3-leaf clover on the cover, symbolizing integrity, hope and love, Yuno receives an extremely rare 4-leaf clover grimoire, symbolizing good luck, while Asta is embarrassed when he does not receive a grimoire. The sense changes to Yuno is being attacked by a disgraced former magic knight intent on stealing the 4-leaf grimoire. Asta comes to aid Yuno but is badly beaten by the thief, who ridicules him for having zero magic potential. Asta's determination to win and Yuno's words of friendship summons a tattered and filthy black grimoire with a legendary 5-leaf clover, which supposedly symbolizes the devil. In a flashback, a young Asta spends most of his time trying to propose to Sister Lily. He and Yuno are inspired by tales of the first Wizard King, and Asta says that he will become Wizard King someday. Yuno is asked to deliver an important letter to the chief of the next village, and is attacked and beaten on his way home by a thief who takes the necklace he was found holding when he was a baby. Yuno is too scared to fight back with his magic. Although he is seriously injured in his fight with the thief, Asta gets the necklace back when the thief becomes bored. Yuno wants to become as brave as Asta is, and announces that he is Asta's rival and will become the Wizard King before Asta does. In the present, Asta uses his black grimoire to summon a giant black sword and effortlessly defeats the thief. Asta and Yuno reaffirm their promise to remain friendly rivals until one of them becomes the Wizard King. Asta and Yuno train relentlessly for the Magic Knight selection exam, hoping to become a member of the Magic Knight squads, 9 squads of knights, who use magic for combat under the command of the Wizard King to defend the Clover Kingdom. Asta and Yuno's rivalry reaches a new height of childish competitiveness. Father Orsi and Sister Lily host a going-away party, congratulating Yuno on his expected future success and subtly reminding Asta that when he fails he can always return home. Nash tells Asta that if he becomes a magic knight it might mean that everyone's dreams can come true, even those of commoners and orphans. Asta and Yuno leave for the capital city, a journey of several days on foot, continuing to train as they travel and growing far stronger, although Yuno still outperforms Asta with magic, accomplishing tasks for which Asta must use strength and skill. They arrive at the capital city in the Magic Knight exam, where success involves proving themselves more powerful than the other Magic Knight candidates. Asta and Yuno register for the exam, and learn that Yuno is already known for receiving the 4-leaf clover grimoire. They are ridiculed by the noble candidates. The exam hall is filled with anti-birds, who are attracted to people with less magic. Asta is pestered by a flock of anti-birds, who ignore Yuno. He is approached by Seki Bronzatsa, an arrogant nobleman who offers to help Asta with the exam. As the exam progresses, Yuno outperforms the other candidates, Asta fails, and Seki shows off his skill at his expense. The final test is a one-on-one duel. Seki chooses Asta as his opponent, revealing his contempt for Asta's lack of magic and his own desire to become a magic knight for the easy lifestyle. As the duel begins, Seki summons a magic shield in the hope that Asta will embarrass himself trying to get past it. Asta summons his sword and defeats Seki, however, repeating his promise to achieve his dream of becoming the Wizard King. Despite his easy victory, Asta is ridiculed for his dream of becoming the Wizard King. Yuno is approached by Celine de Hapshas, an arrogant nobleman who is confident that his skill and power is far superior to that of a commoner. Although Celine uses his most powerful spell to mock Yuno, he is easily defeated. With the duels concluded, the squad captains choose the candidates they want, many fail, and are sent home. Yuno is selected by all 9 squad captains, which is unheard of, and joins the Golden Dawn, which usually accepts only royalty and nobility. Asta is almost sent home when Yami Sukahiro, the intimidating captain of the Black Bulls, accepts him. Seki, accepted by the less prestigious Green Mantis squad, decides to get revenge and summons a lizard whose poisonous bite would cripple Asta for life. Yuno destroys the lizard, however, and Seki flees. Asta is brought to the Black Bull's hideout, rushes inside to introduce himself and is struck by a magical explosion. As he is thrown backwards, Yami welcomes him to the Black Bulls, the worst Magic Knight squad in the kingdom.
Worst of the worst Magic Knight squads, welcome to the Black Bulls.
At the Golden Dawn headquarters, Yuno encounters Klaus Lunette, a Golden Dawn Knight who questions his worthiness as a member. Asta discovers that the explosion was caused by 2 Black Bull Knights fighting, and several other Knights are behaving oddly. Yami proves his strength by bringing them all to heel with a single furious glare. Asta learns that he has been accepted into the Bulls, but he must earn his robe. After Yami gives Asta a series of tests, he arranges a duel with Magna Swing, a young knight who specializes in throwing fireballs with a flaming baseball bat. Asta uses his sword to deflect Magna's fireball back at him. With his training complete, Asta is welcomed to the Black Bulls and receives his robe with the Black Bull symbol. Meanwhile, Asta and Yuno write letters to the orphanage, who are surprised and proud that they have become Magic Knights. Asta meets Noelle Silva, the youngest daughter of the Silva royal family and the Black Bull's second newest recruit. Noelle ridicules Asta as a commoner, he easily defeats her, and she leaves the squad. When he sees Noelle practice, Asta realizes that she cannot control her magic. In a flashback, Noelle's family mocks her and refuses her entrance into the Silver Eagles, the squad to which her family has belonged for generations. In the present, she accidentally traps herself in a giant water bubble. When Asta finds Noelle, Yami forces him to rescue her. Realizing that the Bulls have accepted her for who she is, she rejoins the squad. The story continues with Asta is assigned to do household chores for the Black Bulls. He cleans the library and do the laundry. While doing the laundry, he finds Vanessa's undergarments and faints. However, he says his heart belongs to Sister Lily and won't get any lustful thoughts.
Heart belongs to Sister Lily!
He continues with his chores, but shockingly he has to wake Captain Yami from his slumber. The captain says if he doesn't be quiet, he'll kill him.
Shut up now or I will kill you!
We know he's just joking. Meanwhile, Asta says this is the same type of duty he does back at the church, and quickly realizes that he has no idea what Magic Knight actually do.
Magic Knight squad
Asta asks Magna what does a Magic Knight squad do. He tell him that a Magic Knight protect the country and keep the people safe.
They protect the country, you idiot! Keep the people safe!
The rest of the Black Bulls members also tells Asta what a Magic Knight does. Luck tells him that the best part is they get to fight criminals. Clearly he loves to fight. Next, Goshi tells him that it's an excellent choice of work that makes her sister Marie proud and that he uses his earnings to buy her nice things. And warns Asta if he lays a finger on her he'll kill him. Next, Charmy tells him that when he's a Magic Knight he can eat like there's no tomorrow. She then uses her cotton creation magic to prepare more food to eat. Noelle begins to have second thoughts if she should really be in this squad since they're all insane. Yami knocks down the door and tells him they have mission and heads off. Elsewhere we see that their mission is actually gambling, with a man named Seihei. They lose everything in a poker game with the chief of the village of Saucy, who agrees to forgive their debt if they go to Saucy village and deal with giant boars capable of fire magic. Yami and Magna head back to the Black Bulls headquarters to tell Asta and Noelle they got their first mission. However, Noelle sees their manly power and got embarrassed. Magna tells them that their mission is to go to hunt down some boars at Saucy village. Magna says he is going to accompany them and ask Finral to use his spatial magic to bring them to Saucy village, but he can't since he hasn't been there, so his spatial magic won't work. Therefore Magna and the two has to go by broom, but shockingly Asta and Noelle can't fly on broom since Asta has no magic, and Noelle can't control her magic. They rides on Crazy Cyclone, Magna flying broomstick, and travels with Asta and Noelle to the village. While traveling, Magna tells Asta to hold on since he doesn't want to fall off. He grabs Noelle's waist, but Noelle is not used to a man and knocks Asta off. Poor Asta. However, Manga catches Asta and their journey continues. A group of evil magicians led by Heath Grice that uses ice magic also arrive at Saucy village. Meanwhile, Asta is being attacked by a huge boar. Noelle attends to his aid and tries to attack the boar, but her magic deflects and hits Asta. Asta then pulls out his sword and kills it. However, there's more to kill. After killing the boars and bringing them to the village, Magna remembers his past as a troublemaker who was convinced to join the Magic Knights after the chief defeated him. Arriving at the village, they notice a mist barrier surround the village. Asta destroys the mist barrier and enters Saucy, as Grice tries to kill them. Magna protects the villagers, but realizes that the chief has been killed. Grice tries to crush them with a giant ice ball, which Asta slices in half. Grice then attacks with ice spikes from all directions, and, despite Asta and Magna's best efforts, several villagers are injured. Noelle tries to attack Grice and misses him, forcing Asta and Magna to intervene. When a terrified young girl begs for help, Noelle's protective instincts unlock a new spell in her grimoire, a giant water shield which protects the villagers from ice. As Asta waits for the perfect moment, he attacks Grice and stabs him with his sword. However, Asta is quickly overpowered by Grice's attacks. With Asta's determination to never give up, he charges at Grice once more and got injured by his ice again. After seeing Asta taking a lot of damage, Magna flashes back to when he became a magic knight and the Saucy village chief gave him the pouch he uses to carry his grimoire. After coming to his senses, Magna uses his flame magic, prison death scattershot.
Flame magic! Prison death scattershot!
His last drop of magic power to attack Grice. Grice blocks most of his attacks, but several fly past him. Shockingly, Asta deflects them with the flat of his sword. Grice tries to freeze the fire to put it out, but Asta quickly attacks, defeating Grice and most of his magicians. Asta falls asleep since he is taking a lot of damage. Noelle starts admiring Asta for his kindness and awesomeness. Hiding in Asta's robe, an anti-bird finds the stone for which Grice was looking for. Grice kills himself and his magicians to avoid interrogation. The anti-bird keeps the stone and begins living on Asta's head. Grice's master decides that he can retrieve the stone later as he prepares for the resurrection. After returning to the Black Bull's headquarters, Captain Yami congratulates Asta, Noelle and Magna on a job well done. They then get a star from the Wizard King. They are stars that represent service achievements in the Clover Kingdom, and the 9 magic squads compete to earn them. The current champions are Golden Dawn, with 70 stars. The Black Bulls fail so often that their score is -30. They need 100 more to catch up to the Golden Dawn. Asta receives his earnings for the month, 200,000 Yule, Clover Kingdom currency, and sends most of it home to the orphanage. Vanessa takes Noelle and Asta to the black market. Despite her distaste for its criminal atmosphere, Noelle tries to find items which might help her control her magic. Seki, who now does only minor jobs for the Green Mantises and has become a gambling addict, tries to flirt with Noelle and Vanessa and is annoyed to learn that the 2 beautiful young women are with Asta. A thief suddenly steals an old woman's bag, and Asta rushes to catch him. Asta sees that the thief is escaping and uses his sword to slice through his cloud. The thief is then caught by Seki, who's been poisoned after. Asta tells him he's going to be okay and to never give up. Soon after, Vanessa arrives and tells him that it's not going to kill him and puts some ointment on it. Asta returns the woman's stolen property. The woman reveals herself as Wizard King Julius Navachrono, who, as a magic nerd, is intrigued with Asta's unheard-of anti-magic. Yuno is on his first mission with Klaus and second new recruit Mimosa Vermilion, like Noelle or Royal. Their mission is to escort Celine to Hapshas, the noble whom Yuno defeated in the exam. Klaus is suspicious of Salim's requesting Yuno, since his defeat meant that no squad wanted him. Salim asks Yuno to tell him about himself. Yuno tells him he came from the village of Hajj.
I'm from a small village called Hajj,
where the first Wizard King defeat the demon. Yuno tells him that he was abandoned by his parents when he was a baby. They then see dark clouds emerging. Yuno goes to take a look. Approaching the cloud, they are attacked by bandits, but no worries, Yuno defeat them. Salim suggests they stop by Hajj village, to see where Yuno has grown, and so that Yuno can see everyone from the church since he's been away for 2 months. Arriving at the village, they introduce themselves to Sister Lily. However, Salim tries to flirt with her and hit with a water fist. Salim suggests that they spend the night. Sister Lily is kidnapped by the bandits. Yuno realizes that the bandits wanted him, not Salim. He finds Sister Lily with them in Asta's hideout, under the giant demon skull. Their leader demands Yuno's 4-leaf clover grimoire. Klaus and Mimosa defeat the bandits in an ambush. Klaus reveals that Mimosa interrogated Celine with plant creation magic, summoning a plant which speaks its victim's thoughts. Celine wanted revenge for losing to Yuno in the exam, and hired the bandits to steal his grimoire. Klaus accidentally reveals that he respects Yuno's abilities. Yuno offers to free Celine if he stays away from the village. Celine tries to kill Yuno, and a furious sister Lily knocks him out. One bandit goes missing and is revealed as Julius in disguise, who took a bandit's place so he could observe Yuno. The Wizard King learns from Celine that his father, a high-ranking politician, is corrupt and awards the Golden Dawn a star for exposing him. Klaus suspects that Golden Dawn leader William Vengeance knew about Celine's father. Meanwhile, Asta learns that Yuno also earned a star on his first mission. A new mission becomes available, and Julius has a good idea which magic knights to recruit. The story continues. An unexplored dungeon appears near the Clover Kingdom's border with the hostile Diamond Kingdom. Julius decides to assign the task to a magic knight of claiming the treasure and magical artifacts, and Asta is one of his choices. Asta fulfills the request.
Me! I will devote myself to this mission, body and soul!
Meanwhile, the squad name Asta Antibird Nero. Yami sends Noel to gain experience, and Luck, who seeks powerful opponents. Nero tags along on Asta's head. Noel, frightened in the dungeon, clings to Asta. The dungeon is a confusing, nonsensical labyrinth. Luck and Noel say that it is full of magical traps, which Asta cuts through to reassure the panicky Noel. Luck senses other people and, hoping for a good fight, rushes towards the one with the strongest magic. Noel learns about Yuno from Asta. Embarrassed when she realizes that she is alone with him, she accidentally triggers a carnivorous plant trap which tries to eat them. They are saved at the last second by Yuno, who, with Klaus and Mimosa, was also given the quest of exploring the dungeon by the Wizard King. At the Golden Dawn headquarters, Captain Vengeance encounters Alec-Dora Sandler, who questions him about sending Yuno on an important mission. He says that he trusts him and that's it crucial that Yuno become stronger. Meanwhile, in the dungeon, Klaus accuses Asta of lying about receiving a star and being given a mission by the Wizard King. Noel is annoyed to see Mimosa, her cousin. Yuno, Klaus and Mimosa leave to explore the dungeon. Although Asta is proud of how much Yuno has improved, he is determined to reach the treasure room first. Asta and Noel get lost, but Nero somehow knows the right direction. Yuno angrily warns Klaus about insulting Asta, since he is far stronger than he appears. The Wizard King learns that Diamond Kingdom magicians, led by Lotus Humalt, a smoke manipulation magician, have entered the dungeon. Luck is revealed to have defeated the magicians, but is troubled by Lotus' smokescreen. He scratches Lotus' face, and becomes increasingly deranged as the fight continues. Lotus reveals that he once dueled with Captain Yami, and received a large scar on his chest. Luck is hit by Lotus' poison gas, and loses control of his body. Luck goes completely mad, and attacks with even more powerful lightning magic. Yuno's squad reaches the door to the treasure room, but Mimosa is injured by a crystal manipulation magician from the Diamond Kingdom. As children, Asta and Yuno talk about what it means to be a family. As a child, Luck was considered abnormal for constantly smiling. He was abused by his mother until he discovered his lightning magic and defeated a noble. His mother then became affectionate toward him, making him promise to keep winning no matter what. Luck attacks Lotus again, but is trapped in a smoke cage. Klaus is almost killed by Mars, the crystal magician, and Luck is almost killed by Lotus. They are saved by Yuno and Asta, who declare that they will protect their friends. Luck remembers that he could not even stop smiling at his mother's funeral, and insists on fighting alone so she will love him. Asta refuses to let him, and Luck realizes that he is not alone anymore. Yuno casts 2 simultaneous spells to take down Mars. Luck realizes that Lotus can sense their magic and their location inside his smoke, and formulates a plan using Asta's lack of magic for a surprise attack. Lotus is seriously injured, and Mars survives Yuno's spells by summoning a large crystal sword to defend himself. Lotus flees from the bulls. Klaus sees that Mars has crystals embedded in his skin, and remembers that the Diamond Kingdom had tried to produce stronger magicians with human experimentation and fights to the death. Mars, who has a 2-color grimoire, is the result of the experiments. Yuno draws strength from his memories of Asta's determination, and refuses to surrender.
Give up. I will not.
When he is about to die, Asta appears and cuts the crystal sword in half. Lux smashes Mars' crystal warriors and Noelle casts her water shield around Mimosa, keeping her safe while she heals. Klaus refuses to believe that Golden Dawn magicians were saved by black bulls. With his anti-magic and strength, Asta overpowers Mars. Noelle tells Klaus to accept Asta's strength, which is, whether he likes it or not, much greater than that of any noble. Asta is crushed between two crystals and badly injured, while Mars reappears in giant crystal armor. When Klaus sees Asta's muscles, he realizes how much he must have trained to fight Mars without magic. Mars flashes back to a girl from his childhood, and tries to destroy Asta. Asta smashes Mars' armor, knocking him unconscious. Mars is restrained with magic. Noelle blushes when she sees Asta half-naked, his clothes torn apart. They enter the treasure room that's filled with magic artifacts. Yuno picks up a scroll with a spell, which reacts to his grimoire before it disappears. Nero tries to direct Asta to a gold seal on the wall, but is ignored. Klaus learns that Mars' grimoire is two grimoires sewn together. It suddenly flies out of his hands and returns to Mars, who can use two types of magic instead of only one. Mars' memories suggest that the girl from his childhood was another test subject. Although they were friends, he was forced to kill her in a duel. Noelle is injured, and Asta is blasted through the golden seal into another room. Mars declares his belief that only the strong should survive. Asta awakens to find Nero sitting on top of a second black sword. He seizes it and defends Mimosa and Noelle from Mars. The new sword is smaller and faster. Asta is encouraged by Noelle and the sword absorbs her magic, allowing him to cast a water spell. Despite his armor, Mars is blasted backwards. Asta is impaled by a crystal and collapses. Mars has a flashback about the girl, Fana, who hoped that she would be allowed to go outside. Mars promised her that they would see the world together, but they were forced to duel to the death. He killed Fana accidentally, in self-defense. Fana's grimoire was stitched to Mars, giving him fire and crystal magic. He intends to kill Asta and Mimosa. Yuno desperately casts a random spell from his grimoire, and time freezes. A tiny elf appears and casts a wind spell which hurls Mars into a wall. Yuno realizes that the spell on the scroll has appeared in his grimoire. The dungeon begins to collapse, and Lotus is revealed to have taken a large pile of treasure and saved Mars. Mars' dreams reveal that Fana allowed herself to die so he could experience life, and he is deeply affected by his memories. Asta awakens healed and thanks Mimosa, who has a crush on him. Klaus apologies for thinking less of them for being commoners, and begins treating them as equals. Noelle, embarrassed when she realizes that her clothes are torn and she is half-naked, punishes Asta for peeking at her. Asta sleeps for a week, worrying Noelle. They are summoned to Magic Knight headquarters with Yuno, Klaus, and Mimosa. Mimosa admits her crush on Asta to Noelle, who experiences a pang of jealousy. They meet the wizard king Julius Navacrono, who examines Asta and Yuno's grimoire. The elf from Yuno's new spell is Sylph, a wind elemental who serves one master every era.
Sylph, spirit of wind, one of the 4 major elements.
Julius discovers that Asta's swords drain magic from whoever holds them, and Asta can wield them because he has no magic to drain. They attend a knight promotion ceremony for knights who have earned enough stars. Julius promotes Noelle's older brother and sister, Solid and Nebra Silva, in addition to senior members of the Golden Dawn and Sol Marin of the Blue Roses. Julius leaves Asta, Yuno and their friends alone with the newly promoted knights, who are arrogant nobles. When Asta hears Noelle's siblings, including her eldest brother and Silver Eagle's Captain Nozel, mocking her, he impulsively intervenes. A Golden Dawn noble tries to bury him in sand, but Asta negates the spell and repeats his promise to become the Wizard King.
I'll do whatever it takes to become the Wizard King!
In the distance, Raid Spirito, a magic knight who was expelled from his squad, plots revenge against the Clover Kingdom. Noelle's siblings and several other nobles attack Asta, and he fights her brothers Solid and Nozel. Nozel intervenes and freezes everyone with fear, including Asta, whom he intends to punish himself. Fugolian Vermilion, Mimosa's cousin and captain of the Crimson Lions, questions the noble's honor for ganging up on Asta. His brother, Leopold, is impressed by Asta and decides to become his rival. Captains Nozel and Fugolian fight a battle of will. A mage enters the room and informs them that the city is attacked by raids and his zombie army, who are impervious to injury and kill a number of residents and magicians. Asta rushes to the front lines to protect the commoners, and the nobles split up to protect different parts of the city. Raids is about to kill a little girl when Asta slices through a group of zombies, destroying them, and lunges at him.
All right!
Raids knows who Asta is, but does not know why his zombies were destroyed so easily and summons more. The Silver Eagles, Golden Dawn and Crimson Lions fight them throughout the city, quickly learning that the zombies remain dead only if their bodies are completely destroyed. Asta attacks Raids, who summons number 4 Jimmy, a more powerful zombie who shoots Asta in the face with a bleeding cursed magic bullet which makes him bleed constantly. Asta parries the next bullets, so Jimmy fires at the girl instead, forcing Asta to protect her. Although Noelle sees that Asta is in trouble, her siblings' ridicule has destroyed her confidence. Fugolian hits Noelle on the head for hesitating, telling her to work to become stronger or remain weak forever, and she realizes that this is what Asta does every day. She joins him in battle, casting her water shield around the girl while Leopold burns away the zombies, allowing Asta to rush at Jimmy and destroy him. The enraged Raid summons number 2 Alfred, who attacks Asta with lightning magic. Augustus Kira Clover 13, the lazy and self-centered king of the Clover Kingdom who is spending the battle with his mistresses in the castle, petulantly asks why the Wizard King is not protecting him. Charmy sneaks into the palace kitchen to meet the royal chef. Since Asta cannot match Alfred's speed, Fugolian intervenes and burns Alfred to ashes. Raids mocks Asta's dream of becoming the Wizard King with nothing but anti-magic. Fugolian is so impressed with Asta that he also decides to become his rival and takes his place in the fight so he can recover. Raids reveals that he had been on the Purple Orca squad, but was banished from the Clover Kingdom because his necromancy was considered unnatural. Fugolian attacks. Raids summons number 1 Carl, his strongest corpse, and hides behind Carl's magic shield. The more experienced Fugolian shoots a fire bolt through the shield's weakest point, destroying Carl and defeating Raids. The city begins to recover. A witch named Catherine flies overhead, suggesting that the battle is not over. Noelle and Leopold defeat number 3 David, Raid's last zombie. Fugolian examines Raid's grimoire and discovers that it has only 1 page with 1 spell. Necromancy is all he is capable of. Raids has a magic item in his ear which transmits a voice warning him to follow his master's plan. A spell activates in which nearly all the magic knights, who had been lured by zombies into teleportation traps, are sent far away. Catherine attacks the city and begins draining magic from every magician, aging them as she becomes younger. Yuno, who escaped the trap, fights her. Catherine reveals that the invasion targeted Fugolian Vermilion, who is transported to a different location than the other knights. Yuno is hit by curses, which steal his vision and hearing. Although he almost gives up, he realizes that without his sight he is more attuned to the flow of magic. Yuno summons Sylph to manipulate all the city's magic and attack Catherine with a hurricane. Fugolian is approached by a magician whom he recognizes.
It's you!
Catherine, now old and drained of magic, crashes through the wall of the palace kitchen where Charmy is feasting. She tries to drain Charmy's magic, but Charmy, thinking that Catherine wants her food, summons a giant sheep who knocks Catherine through another wall. Catherine's stolen magic returns to her victims, who return to their normal ages. Charmy's meal almost goes through the wall, but it is caught by Yuno, on whom Charmy develops a crush on. The king demands battle end soon, because the noise is keeping him from napping. Noelle realizes that the magician who teleported Fugolian must be nearby, and Asta finds him hiding under a pile of zombies. Valtos, the magician, returns Fugolian unconscious with his right arm torn off, indicating that the magician who teleported Fugolian is stronger than a squad captain. Seeing his brother defeated shocks Leopold into near Catatonia. Raids tries to escape through Valtos' portal, but Asta stops him. However, his allies arrive and surround them. Asta, still affected by number 4 Jimmy's bleeding curse, slashes his own body with his swords, removing the curse and preparing to fight as Raid's allies begin to attack them. Asta and Leopold battle the magicians. Noelle uses her shield to prevent further harm to Fugolian, who is slowly dying. Asta and Leopold are impaled by wind needles, but are saved by the teleported magic knights, who work together to return to the city. Mimosa begins healing Fugolian. Raids and the magicians kidnap Asta and flee. Nozel decides not to look for Asta, and Solid and Nebra mock Fugolian for his defeat. The Magic Knights begin rebuilding the city's defenses, and Noel worries about Asta. Raids and the magicians argue about his recklessness. One magician, Sally, wants to dissect Asta for his anti-magic. As they reach their hideout, they find Julius waiting for them. He overwhelms them by using his time magic to kill two and capture the rest. Asta realizes how much he needs to learn before he becomes the Wizard King. Julius is interested in a nearby stone tablet inlaid with several jewels like the one in Saucy Village, but a mysterious magician appears and blinds everyone with light magic. The light magician disappears with the stone tablet after a brief clash with Julius, who returns Asta and his remaining prisoner to the city. Noel, Klaus, Mimosa and Nero are happy that he is safe. Fugolian is missing his jewel necklace, which the Wizard King suspects is part of the stone tablet now possessed by the Eye of the Midnight Sun, the group behind the invasion. Nozel seeks revenge for Fugolian's injuries, and Leopold decides to become the Wizard King. The Wizard King concludes that one of his magic knights must be a traitor. Fugolian remains unconscious, and Sally begins experimenting on Asta's blood. The mysterious master is revealed as injured by the Wizard King's time magic. With his right arm aged to that of an old man, he has thousands of followers. Asta argues with Yuno, who responds with a wind attack he struggles to nullify. Sylph, visible only to Yuno, has made his magic even more powerful. At the Black Bull's hideout, Magna has finally earned a star, and Asta says that he has been promoted to Junior Magic Knight 3rd class.
Junior Magic Knight 3rd class!
For repelling the invasion, outranking Magna. The story continues with Finral, planning a mixture. He have trouble choosing which one of his squad mates he should bring with him, since he's already taking Asta with him. He then decides to bring Locke, because, he's always smiling and looks sane. As they leave with Finral's portal spell, Noel, jealous of Asta, secretly follows them. At the mixer, they each introduce themselves to the three women, Erica, Helene and Rebecca. To Noel's relief, the women are not impressed with Asta, Finral or Locke. Seki is also at the mixer.
It's haha!
Asta is left alone with a young woman, Rebecca Scarlet. After a few awkward minutes, they bond because each has several younger siblings, shocking Noel. A drunken man insults Rebecca, and Asta throws him across a table, landing on Seki. Rebecca develops a crush on Asta, but decides to pursue him slowly when she learns that he loves someone else. Noel mistakenly thinks that Asta has a crush on her. Finral and Locke are rejected by the other two women because of their misunderstood belief, because of Asta's reaction to the drunk, that Black Bulls are too violent. Meanwhile, Goshi Adlai is happy because it is Marie's birthday. Father Orsi and Sister Lily learn that Asta was promoted to Junior Magic Knight 3rd class, and Yuno is promoted to Junior Magic Knight 1st class. Asta visits Rebecca's village, angering Noel. When Gauche arrives at Marie's orphanage, he finds her playing with Asta and Rebecca's siblings. He overreacts, frightening Rebecca's siblings and upsetting Marie, who has a crush on Asta. Gauche tries to kill Asta, but Sister Teresa Rapuel, a nun who cares for Marie, stops him. He argues with Teresa, who is the reason he can visit Marie only once a month. Rebecca invites Asta to spend the night at her house, and her siblings assume that she will try to seduce him. Noel faints from jealousy. Gauche again tries to murder Asta in his sleep. Their fight moves outdoors, where Asta realizes that the village is snow-covered in midsummer. Rebecca intervenes. Two of her siblings, Luca and Marco, and dozens of other village children are missing, led away in a hypnotic trance by Nej. Sister Teresa realizes that the snow hypnotizes children whose magic has not appeared. Gauche tracks Marie into the mountains with Asta and Sister Teresa, leaving Noel behind to assemble reinforcements. Marie wakes up with the other kidnapped children. Nej, realizing that she is awake, calls her a bad friend and hits her. Nej's abusive older brother, Barrow, sees that Marco has almost no magic and throws him out into the snow. Noel contacts Magic Knight headquarters, and asks Seki for help. Although Asta sees Marco in the snow, Gauche cares only about Marie.
My angel's the only one who matters.
Asta falls off the broom to reach Marco, and Gauche flies on. He awakens Marco from his trance, and Sister Teresa heals him. Barrow begins painfully draining magic from the children. Gauche arrives, but he is forced to stop fighting when Barrow uses Marie as a shield. Asta then frees Marie. Sister Teresa sees that the children are drained, and will never be able to use magic. Barrow assumes that Asta is weak without magic, but when Asta learns that Barrow stole the children's magic for money, he blasts him into the wall. Seki flies to the Black Bull's hideout to get help for Asta and Ghosh, but finds most of the bulls drunk. Yami, awakening in a bad mood, thinks that Seki is a debt collector. Nej is tricked and defeated by Ghosh's mirror clone. Sister Teresa restrains Barrow, and Asta begins awakening the children from their trances. Barrow activates a transmitter. Sister Teresa says that she trained Sister Lily, who told her about Asta and his determination, a daily inspiration. Sally, responding to Barrow's signal, appears through a portal. Seki tells the bulls that Asta and Ghosh need help. Yami debates doing it himself, which he does not want to, or sending Gordon and Gray, who are difficult to communicate with. Sally outmaneuvers and traps Asta and Ghosh with her gel magic. Sister Teresa burns away the gel and reveals that she was Teresa, the Crimson She-Leopard of the Crimson Lions, who trained Fugolian when he was a child. Sally injects Barrow with a magical substance which transforms him into a mud monster. Ghosh flees with Marie, leaving Asta, Sister Teresa, and the other children to die. The mud monster tries to kill Nej, but Asta protects him. Ghosh flashes back to his and Marie's childhoods, when a relative killed their noble parents, stole their money and threw Ghosh and Marie out into the street. Ghosh turned to theft to keep Marie from starving, and was sent to prison, and Marie was taken in by Sister Teresa. Ghosh changes his mind when Marie tells him that she is proud he became a magic knight, leaves her with Marco outside the cave and goes back. He sees that Asta is still fighting the mud monster, attacks Sally, and is badly beaten. Asta saves him, and Ghosh remembers joining the bulls. He decides for the first time in his life to support someone else. A new spell appears in his grimoire. He casts it with the magic mirror in his left eye, creating dozens of Asta mirror clones who defeat the mud monster. Nej vows revenge on Sally, and Asta offers to be his friend. Nej, Ghosh and Sister Teresa are attacked by Licht, the Eye of the Midnight Sun leader.
I am the leader of the Eye of the Midnight Sun. Call me Licht.
Just like Yuno, Licht has a 4-leaf clover grimoire. Licht says that it is his duty to destroy the Clover Kingdom, and is angry that Asta has the 5-leaf clover grimoire. Yami appears through Finral's portal and saves Asta with his sword, a katana from his home country.
This is a katana. It's from my native country.
Licht, who uses light magic, decides to duel Yami, who uses dark magic. Since Yami is convinced that they met before, Licht says that he comes from a village of powerful magicians who were slaughtered out of jealousy by those who had revered them. Yami counters with his own more ridiculous tale of how he ended up in the Clover Kingdom, injuring Licht's face when Licht admitted that he had maimed Fugolian. Yami orders Asta to fight as well, saying that he countered Licht's attack by sensing his chi, energy emitted by movement. Licht asks Valtos to capture Asta, and Yami orders Asta to use his chi sensing technique. Asta succeeds on his second try, reflecting Valtos' attack back at him. This infuriates Licht. He causes a cave-in to bury Asta and Yami under the rubble, but they free themselves before Licht and Valtos can leave. Licht criticizes the Clover Kingdom's hypocrisy in respecting magical ability but forcing those with powerful magic to live in poor conditions, continuing his fight with Yami while Asta faces Valtos. Despite his new ability to sense chi, Asta is wounded. He throws himself through one of Valtos' portals, reappearing on the other side in front of Valtos, who punches him into a wall. Yami tricks Licht into attacking, and wounds him. Licht praises Yami for being the second man to seriously hurt him. The first was the Wizard King, who incurably aged his right arm. Licht prepares to use a powerful spell to kill Yami and Asta and retrieve the 5-leaf clover grimoire. Finral returns the children to their parents, and Sister Teresa and Ghosh are healed. The magician healing Ghosh says that it is a miracle he is still alive. Sister Teresa gives Ghosh her remaining magic so he can help Asta, who has made him a better man. Nej and Marie also give him their magic. Although Licht invokes his Ray of Divine Punishment spell, Ghosh has Finral teleport him to Yami and uses his full reflection spell to defeat Licht. The children return to the village. Noelle, learning about the fight at the cave, is upset that she was left behind and Asta might still be at risk. At the cave, with Licht knocked out by his own reflected attack, Yami restrains Licht and Valtos while he. Asta and Ghosh wait for Finral to regain the strength to teleport them. Lit regains consciousness, recognizing Ghosh as a friend, despite Ghosh's knowledge that they never met, and is freed by 3 Eye of the Midnight Sun members who come through a portal. Lit says that the 3 members are the Third Eye, the Eye of the Midnight Sun's strongest members. The Third Eye represents traits opposed to integrity, hope and love, which the Clover Kingdom pretends to value. Raya the Disloyal uses copy magic to replicate Yami's attack, battling the Black Bull Captain. Veto the Despairing Beast magic shatters Yami's sword, and Fana the Hateful uses the Salamander of the Fire Spirit. The Third Eye are about to kill Yami when their attacks are deflected by Nozel Silva of the Silver Eagles, Charlotte Rosary of the Blue Roses, and Jack the Ripper of the Green Praying Mantises. The story continues with Nej tells Noel his motivation to turn himself in, so he and Asta can be friends. Rebecca notices Noel's concern about Asta. The captains argue, revealing that Jack and Yami dueled in the past and Charlotte is in love with Yami but too stubborn to tell him. Charlotte duels Raya, Jack duels Veto, and Nozel tries to kill Lit but ends up dueling Fana. Lit becomes angrier because Asta owns the 5-leaf clover grimoire in his swords, trying to intercept Yami when Finral teleports him. He and the Third Eye could not sense Asta, who strikes a blow before Yami knocks Lit to the ground. The cave is filled with light, and Asta's sword nullifies a secret stabilizing spell. Lit's personality changes as he accuses Asta of stealing the Demon Slayer sword and Demon Dweller's sword which once belonged to his master. The Third Eye abruptly end their duels to cast a stabilizing spell on Lit before bringing him and Valtos to safety. Asta faints from exhaustion, and Nozel watches him. Lit, Valtos, and Sally recuperate. Raids and the Third Eye argue about what to do because of Asta, and Raya decides that they must speed up their plans. Asta awakens the next day after Klaus and Mimosa heal him, and Nej is taken into custody. Sister Teresa recovers and is pleased that Ghosh's attitude has improved, although he is still obsessed with Marie. Rebecca kisses Asta on the cheek to thank him for saving her siblings and let Noel know that she likes Asta too. After an eating contest at Black Bull headquarters, Yami is summoned by Julius to a meeting of the squad captains and to bring Asta.
Squad captains are getting together for a meeting tomorrow. Says to drag you along too.
As Yami meets the other squad captains, the Wizard King's aide Marks escorts Asta to a secret prison where Midnight Sun members Catherine and George are located. Julius, realizing there may be a traitor among the knights, asks Asta to use his Demon Slayer sword to break the spells on the Midnight Sun members, to protect their memories, as Marks proceeds with his inquiry. The squad captains bicker as they wait for Julius before they are summoned to the prison, where the Wizard King reveals that there is a traitor among them. The traitor is Purple Orca Squad Captain Geldra Poiset, and the other Magic Knight captains point out his criminality. Geldra uses transparency magic to become invisible and flees. Asta tracks him, sensing his chi, and uses his anti-magic to make him visible. Geldra is then trapped in a magic painting. His memory is examined, revealing his criminal activities. All the captains except Yami are excused, one is Raya in disguise. Meeting with Yami and Asta, Julius reveals that Charlotte and George also revealed information about the stone tablet and the Midnight Sun's goal of collecting the magical stones so they can be reborn in their original forms. One of the 4 remaining stones is in the Underwater Temple, an area of strong magic which few can reach. He asks Yami to retrieve the stones. His subordinates have the fewest social ties, and the other Magic Knight squads could have traitors among them, and Yami remembers meeting the Wizard King when he received his grimoire. Yami agrees to the mission, and the Black Bull squad prepares for a trip to the beach, including Noel, who is panicky at having to buy a bikini. Yuno, Klaus and Mimosa hear a scream. It is Noel, being undressed by Vanessa to try on bikinis. She buys the most expensive bikini, hoping that it will attract Asta. The Black Bulls fly to the beach and begin having fun. Noel is embarrassed at how much skin her bikini reveals, but wants Asta to see her in it. However, every attempt to get Asta to notice her is ruined by the Bulls' antics. Seki, also at the beach, is blasted into the ocean by the Bulls' stampede. Yami arrives and chastises them for loafing, explaining that the temple is on the ocean floor and protected by magic ocean currents strong enough to drown most people. They weaken during the full moon, a week away, and the only Black Bull capable of manipulating water is Noel. Despite her lack of confidence, Yami orders her to practice, controlling her magic enough to break through the current. She begins practicing, turning her water shield into an airtight water bubble which would enable them to breathe underwater. Asta offers to help her train when they hear a voice. Down the beach, a young woman is singing. The girl, Kahano, explains that she is practicing singing, dancing and magic to become an idol. Taking Asta's hand, she diagnoses him with muscle fatigue and uses song recovery magic to heal him. Noelle is impressed. The magic requires great control, and she is intrigued by a female friend her own age. She describes her difficulties, and Kahano suggests that she cast her spells while summoning a pleasant memory. Noelle, however, has none. She practices and, on the night before the full moon, Asta suggests that she cast the spell randomly. The spell engulfs her, and she is overcome by feelings of failure and misery. Noelle sees the bulls shouting encouragement, and she is overwhelmed by pleasant memories of her friends, especially Asta. A new spell appears in her grimoire, the Sea Dragon's Cradle, and her water shield is transformed into an airtight water bubble. As the bulls celebrate, Noelle realizes that Kahano has disappeared. Yami watches from a distance, and is impressed with her. Kahano says to herself that she looks forward to seeing Noelle in the underwater temple, and jumps into the sea. The bulls set off for the underwater temple, barely passing the magic currents with Noelle's cradle. They reach the temple and find it surrounded by a magic barrier of spinning whirlpools. Yami throws Asta at the whirlpools. Although Asta cannot swim, he cuts through them with his sword, allowing the cradle to enter. Inside and able to breathe, the bulls find the temple, a large city grown from glowing coral. Unseen, Nero, hiding in Asta's robe, flies ahead of them. They meet friendly temple residents, who ask them many questions about the surface and say that they have not had a visitor in over 10 years. Yami asks to see the person in charge, and they are brought to the high priest and easily defeat a fish monster. The high priest, the eccentric Gifso, says that the monster was a prank to frighten visitors. Gifso, who knows they want the magic stone, tells them that they must win a fight between the bulls and the temple's warrior magicians. The bulls are teleported throughout the temple and separated, forcing each to fight a warrior magician alone. Asta, confronted by an octopus-headed magician, prepares to fight. Yami watches the fight with Gifso. Asta, Luck, Magna and Ghosh quickly defeat their opponents, shocking Gifso and reducing the magicians to 5. Gifso says that his 3 strongest magicians will surely win. Charmy is put to sleep by her opponent's lullaby magic, reducing the bulls to 8. Asta encounters Kyoto, who fights with swords and reveals that the high priest is his grandfather. If he wins, he can leave the temple and become a dancer. Noelle encounters Kahano, the lullaby magician, whose dream of becoming an idol also depends on defeating the bulls. However, she insists on fighting fairly. Noelle protects herself with her water shield, but her attacks miss. Kahano tells her that she had perfect control all along, but misses because she wants to avoid hurting people. Noelle realizes that she is right. Asta struggles to match Kyoto's graceful dueling style. Vanessa defeats her opponent, leaving 4 magicians to the bulls' 8. The magician facing Luck and Magna is Gio, the high priest's son, who he is crushed beneath a powerful spell as Veto the Despair arrives with 4 Midnight Sun magicians to steal the magic stone. The story continues with Veto defeating a team of magicians before traveling to the underwater temple. Veto fights Gio, Magna and Luck. When Gifso sees his son defeated, he tells Yami that his game spell has been cast. No outsider can interfere before they realize that they have been sealed in another dimension by Midnight Sun magician Abri. Yami contacts the bulls and temple magicians, explaining that they must defeat Veto. Gifso changes the rules, so the bulls and temple magicians can have any wish if they defeat Veto. Luck and Veto duel at an incredible speed. Magna, who cannot keep up, attacks Veto with fireballs. Luck remembers meeting Magna, and knowing instinctively that he was dangerous. He would annoy Magna into expressing his dangerous side, growing stronger and becoming Luck's first real friend. As Asta and Kyoto race toward the battle, Asta asks why it was so hard to follow Kyoto's chi. Kyoto says that his dance magic puts him in a trance. His body moves without conscious thought.
My body just sort of moves without any conscious thought on my part.
Making his movements unpredictable even to one who can sense chi. Despite critical injuries, Luck and Magna hit Veto with a combined flame lightning exploding cannon spell.
Combo spell! Flame lightning exploding cannon!
Shockingly, Veto blocks Luck and Magna's attack, and they collapse. Asta blocks his attempt to kill them, slashes his stomach, and fights him with Kyoto. Vanessa and Ghosh encounter Midnight Sun magicians, and Ghosh's opponent has a magic chain capable of destroying his mirrors. Ghosh, hiding, encounters a crab previously seen in the caves. He tricks the magician into thinking that he summoned his mirror clone, and defeats him. The fake clone is Gray, using transformation magic, who leads Ghosh back to Charmy. They are trapped by another Midnight Sun magician, who begins draining their magic. Ghosh remembers learning from Asta that friends protect each other. Gray transforms a boulder into a hunk of meat, and Ghosh shouts at Charmy that the magician is stealing her dinner. The food-obsessed Charmy awakens from her enchanted sleep, and summons a sheep chef who crushes the magician. Out of magic, Gray is revealed as a shy, nervous young woman embarrassed when others see her true self. Veto overpowers Asta, angry that he is using Lick's swords. He nearly breaks Asta's arm when Noelle and Kahono arrive. Kahano and Kyoto combine their song and dance magic to overwhelm Veto before he severs Kyoto's leg and crushes Kahono's throat. Defeating Gifso's sea monsters, Veto remembers that his group had dreams before the humans showed them despair. Despite Noelle's reluctance, Kahono telepathically reassures her that she is strong enough to protect what is precious to her. Noelle gains full control of her power and casts another new spell, Sea Dragon's Roar, a giant water snake which overpowers Veto, cutting off his arm. Yami, surprised, realizes that Noelle is an attacking magician. When Veto remembers meeting Licht before he attended a wedding where their people were killed, a third eye opens in the center of his forehead. It enhances his mythical beast magic, regrowing his severed arm. Yami, realizing that the Midnight Sun are more than a terrorist organization, tells Noelle to run. Out of magic and overpowered, she is rescued by Asta. When she sees Veto's transformation, Noelle remembers her grandmother's tale about a race of evil beings whose leader was defeated by the first Wizard King. Deciding to join the fight, Yami tries to escape from the dimension bubble. Vanessa uses string magic to defeat a Midnight Sun member. Finral decides to run away, but remains after hearing Asta shout about never giving up. Veto tries to kill Luck, Magna, Kahono, Kyoto and Gio. But Vanessa intervenes and traps him with her strings. He breaks free and attacks, but Finral reveals himself and sends the spell through his portals back to Veto.
Time for us to show off our most advanced stuff. No! What now? I'm toast! What am I even doing here? I'll die!
Directed by Vanessa, Noelle keeps Luck, Magna, Kahono, Kyoto and Gio safe inside her water shield. Although Finral is still terrified, Vanessa encourages him with a promised embrace if they win and helps Asta grip his sword by wrapping his hand with strings. As the battle begins, Veto finds his spells redirected by Finral's portals, so he cannot fight long range, and Asta wounds his cheek. Realizing that wounds from anti-magic swords are immune to his healing magic, Veto is no match for Asta, who uses Finral's portals and Vanessa's strings to maneuver around the battlefield. Cutting Veto's shoulder. Ghosh, Gray and Charmy wait for their magic to recharge. Veto begins to anticipate Asta's moves, and cuts his ribs. Yami warns Asta that unless he fights smarter and faster, Veto's next blow will kill him. Although Finral and Vanessa begin to lose their magic, they are joined by the recharged Ghosh, Gray and Charmy. Ghosh fires mirror lasers at Veto, Charmy uses her giant sheep chef to create a smoke screen, and Gray uses transformation magic to turn puffs of the smoke into copies of Asta. Amidst the confusion, Asta reveals himself and stabs Veto in the chest. Veto reveals that he attacked Asta to injure his arms and seized the Demon Dweller sword. Refusing to lose, Asta retrieves the Demon Slayer sword and described his promise to Yuno to never give up, as Veto never gave up against him. Veto, realizing too late that he forgot the Demon Dweller sword, discovers that he can no longer track his opponent's movements. Seeing Asta's demonic aura, he thinks his opponent is inhuman before his defeat with a powerful blow. As Yami wonders about Asta's demonic power, the Black Bull's celebration is short-lived. Veto, awakening up from a dream of himself and Licht as children, decides to use his remaining magic to self-destruct and destroy the underwater temple. This forces Yami to break Aburi's barrier with his space-cutting dark cloak dimension slash, defeating the Midnight Sun magician, reaching his team and using his spell again to kill Veto. After Veto's death, Gifso thanks the bulls and offers them a reward for winning his game. When Yami asks for the magic stone, Gifso says that he does not know anything about it. Nero arrives with the stone, however, and Gifso gladly gives it to the bulls. The remaining Midnight Sun members begin planning to retrieve the stone. The bulls are embarrassed when the entire underwater temple gathers outside their hospital room to thank them. This is unprecedented, since they are the worst squad in the kingdom. Noelle apologizes to Kahono and Kyoto for the loss of her voice and his leg, but Kahono promises that she will find a way to sing again. Kyoto falls in love with Noelle when she smiles, and is determined to dance again to impress her. Nero shows Asta Yami's makeshift shrine to Veto. Asta tells Yami that although he cannot forgive the Midnight Sun, he sympathies with them. Yami tells him to continue achieving his dreams. As the Black Bulls go home with Veto's subordinates through Finral's portal, Kahono struggles to sing a song in their honor and is joined by the entire underwater temple. The Black Bulls realize that they left Gordon behind. Although they think he is angry, he is depressed because he cannot make himself understood. Yami, Charmy and Asta present Julius with the stone, Veto's body and the captured Midnight Sun magicians. Marx tells Julius that Diamond Kingdom magicians are attacking Keaton, a fortress on the Clover Kingdom's border. The Wizard King realizes the seriousness of the situation, since the army is led by 3 of the kingdom's 8 shining generals, Ragus, Bracos and Yagos. The knights in Keaton are overwhelmed when Ragos breaks through their barrier with lightning arrows. Yagos plans an attack strategy and
want you to store up your power as you scout for the enemy. Sir! Long-range attack mages. Maintain a barrage of low-cost spells to keep the defenders on their toes. Sir!
And Bracos charges wildly, breaking through the city wall with a magic boar. The Golden Dawn squad, including Yuno, arrive to defend Keaton. Bracos charges at Yuno, but his boar is destroyed by wind magic. Yami offers to go to Keaton through Finral's portal to see Golden Dawn Captain William Vengeance. He reconsiders Charmy's offer to protect Asta, although she wants to see Yuno. In Keaton, Vengeance notes how strong Yuno has become and decides to join the battle. Bracos prepares to fight Yuno, but Ragus insists on fighting instead. Yuno's wind arrows, made more powerful by Bel's magic, destroy Ragus' lightning arrows. Yagos encases himself in a giant snail made of mucus and begins draining magic from injured mages. The Golden Dawn's vice-captain Langris Vaude, Finral's younger brother who also uses spatial magic, teleports away part of Yagos' snail along with his right arm. Yami orders Charmy, Asta and Finral to help the citizens while he finds Vengeance. Ragus and Yuno begin dueling, but Yuno is far superior in skill and power and impales Ragus with a wind trident, defeating him. Yuno meets with Asta and surprises Finral by greeting Asta warmly, something Finral cannot understand as his rivalry with his brother was far from friendly. Mimosa offers to heal Asta's broken arms. He insists Mimosa help everyone else first. Bracos attempts to kill Vengeance but is defeated instantly. Lotus attempts to sneak up on Vengeance hidden inside his smoke but is prevented from attacking by Yami. Rather than fight, Lotus retrieves Bracos and retreats.
Lose the mask.
Finral meets his younger brother Langris. When Langris mocks Finral, Asta reveals his role in defeating Veto. Langris is attacked by Yagos using civilians as a human shield. Langris, who does not care about civilians, prepares to attack until Asta stops him. Using Charmy's cotton sheep as a springboard, Asta lunges at Yagos and uses Finral's portals to maneuver while holding his sword in his teeth to spare his arms. First, he nullifies Yagos' mucus, freeing the hostages, and then knocks Yagos into a wall. Finral finally confronts his younger brother and promises the Black Bulls will surpass the Golden Dawn. Vengeance eventually agrees to remove his mask as he knows Yami believes he is licked even though he and the Midnight Sun leader use different types of magic. Removing his mask reveals that it conceals a birthmark covering the top half of his face. In a flashback, Vengeance is frequently abused by his foster parents because of his face. Eventually, Julius creates his mask while urging him to join the Magic Knights. In the present, Yami accepts that Vengeance is not licked and leaves. Yuno clashes with Langris over his attitude towards Asta and professes his willingness to surpass Langris by becoming captain of the Golden Dawn. The Wizard King believes the invasion was a ruse to allow the Diamond Kingdom to search for something. Yami drags Asta to Owen, a healer, who gives him bad news, overheard by Finral. Yami reveals the bulls have earned so many stars they have gone from -30 stars to 0 stars, and they have a party. When Asta says he is tired, Noel and the others become as the bulls search for Asta to make him feel better. They find him shouting that he will train until he can fight without his arms. All the bulls are proud of him. Meanwhile, Vanessa thinks that she might know of a magic that can save his arms. The next morning, Asta realizes that most of the bulls left secretly to search for ways to heal him. Gordon are researching curses in the king's library, Charmy and Gray are gathering exotic potion ingredients in the wild, and Vanessa disappears. Noelle has Finral take her to the home of a red-haired man, but quick man reveals himself as a swordsman named Fanzel Kruger. In a flashback, Asta sees him being chased by a giant boar during his training and rescues him. Fanzel trains Asta in swordsmanship while he is waiting for a friend to arrive. He ranks him among the top 2 students. Eventually, Mariella, one of Fanzel's students, arrives at his home. Having searched for Fanzel's missing fiancé, Dominante Code, Mariella suggests that she is presumed dead. Fanzel recalls he and Dominante were Diamond Kingdom warriors but were separated by assassins after they defected from the army, so Fanzel hid while Mariella searched for Dominante. That evening, Mariella lures Fanzel into a trap and tells him that since his other students were killed, Mariella joined the Diamond Kingdom as an assassin. Mariella plans to bring him back so he can help with the experiments that created Mars. However, Asta helps Fanzel force the assassins to retreat, which gives him a new reason to live and continue searching for Dominante. With Asta's training complete, he and Fanzel go their separate ways. In another flashback, Fanzel arrives at the Bulls' headquarters, where Noelle confirms that the wand in her possession was crafted by Dominante, proving that she is still alive. However, the headquarters are attacked by Diamond Kingdom assassins led by Mariella and Galileo, their commander. The Black Bulls effortlessly defeat Galileo and the assassins. Fanzel, Asta and Noelle are teleported by Finral to the black market where they find Dominante, who punishes Fanzel for taking so long to find her. Mariella arrives and reveals that meeting Asta made her realize she had also grown tired of working for the Diamond Kingdom. She had the assassins attack the Bulls, knowing the Bulls would defeat them. She offers to be imprisoned for her crimes, but they are interrupted by Galileo, who escaped the Bulls and heard everything Mariella said. He attempts to kill her but is easily defeated by Asta and Fanzel. Fanzel, Dominante, and Mariella become friends again and decide to leave together, saying goodbye to the Bulls. In the present, Noelle and Finral tell Fanzel, Dominante, and Mariella about Asta's arms. Dominante tells them the only magic she knows of that might help belongs to the Witch Queen. Meanwhile, in the Forest of Witches, Vanessa enters the Queen's manor. The story continues with, Dominante explains the Forest of Witches is a country whose inhabitants are all women possessing powerful magic. She warns that any woman who leaves the forest like she and Vanessa are considered criminals. Noelle, Dominante, Finral, Fanzel, and Mariella goes to retrieve Asta and travel to the forest. Meanwhile, the Witch Queen is disappointed that Vanessa failed to control destiny through her thread magic. Vanessa offers to return to the forest in return for the spell to heal Asta but is easily knocked out. Dominante explains the Witch Queen can sense anyone entering the forest, so she gives everybody invisibility cloaks to prevent the Queen from sensing them. Fanzel loses his cloak, inadvertently causing the mages to be discovered. Left with no choice, the mages flee to the Queen's manor, where Asta tries rescuing Vanessa but the Queen thwarts him, revealing that the witches are her daughters, including Vanessa. Using a magic crystal that can see the future, the Queen tells the group of their impending deaths, but she realizes that the Eye of the Midnight Sun, led by Fan of the Hatred, has already invaded the forest to exact revenge on the Bulls for injuring Licht and killing Veto. Using her salamander, Fana burns the forest while the Witch Queen observes that the Diamond Kingdom army, including Mars and Ladros of the 8 Shining Generals, is also invading it. Asta refuses the Queen's offer, as it would cost Vanessa her freedom. Using the Demon Dweller's sword, Asta attempts to heal himself, but his anti-magic fails to remove the curse. He still refuses to accept his fate, which reminds Vanessa of her first meeting with Yami. Offered by Noel to heal Asta's arms in exchange for the bulls defeating the invaders, the Queen accepts this. She uses her magical blood to heal Asta. Unknown to the 7, she secretly plans to steal both Vanessa and Asta's anti-magic for herself. Fanzel intends to fight the Diamond Kingdom as he must defeat Mars and Ladros. Fana destroys the giant golem guarding the forest. Sherdan, her subordinate, captures the witches to use as slaves, but Asta easily defeats Sherdan and his soldiers. Fana tries killing Asta to avenge Veto, but Asta reflects Salamander's fireball back at her. Asta, Vanessa and Finral join forces to fight Fana. Vanessa doubt they can win, as Salamander is one of the 4 great spirits. Unable to understand Fana's hatred and Veto's despair, Asta insists on talking instead of fighting. In a flashback, a human mage, who desires peace between elves and humans with Licht, marries a human woman who conceives his half-elven child. The elves assume the mage has betrayed them when they were massacred by humans. In the present, Fana summons a third eye on her forehead, causing Salamander to grow much larger and starts using crystal magic. Her fire grows so hot neither Vanessa's strings nor Finral's portal can get near her. With her shield temporarily down, Noelle extinguishes Salamander's flames with her Sea Dragon's Roar technique. Asta realizes Fana's magic is familiar and asks about her relationship with Mars, but is unsuccessful. Vanessa and Finral use their magic to have Asta stab Salamander in the chest. Fanzel confronts Mars and Ladros, who reveal they seek the Witch Queen to cure the Diamond King of a terminal illness. Fanzel, Mariella and Dominante join forces with the other mages to fight the Diamond Army. Fanzel tries fighting Ladros, but Ladros reveals his surgically modified body can absorb other people's magic. He uses Fanzel's wind magic to destroy part of the forest, killing many witches and even his own soldiers. Fanzel is injured keeping Dominante safe. Ladros rejects Fanzel's belief that magic should be used to protect others and tries killing Dominante. However, she is rescued by Mars, who has changed since his earlier defeat and has decided to continue to follow Fanzel's teachings. Mariella injures Ladros, but he absorbs her ice magic and Mars' crystal magic. Mars explains they can defeat Ladros with anti-magic. He and Fanzel throw Ladros in Asta's direction. Asta unsuccessfully pleads with Fana to surrender so she can return to her family and friends. As Fanzel and Mars fly towards Asta, he deflects Fana's fireball at Ladros, who attempts to absorb it but is easily defeated. Mars immediately realizes that Fana is his childhood friend, who was seemingly killed as part of the Diamond Kingdom's human experiments. Fana's memories of Mars cause her to activate a self-destruct spell. Mars willingly lets himself be injured as penance for killing Fana, until Asta tells him if Fana really is his childhood friend he should save her instead of letting himself be killed. Mars begins to continuously use flame healing magic to instantly heal their burns caused by Fana. Together, they reach Fana and Asta nullifies the self-destruct spell causing Salamander to disappear. Mars then embraces Fana before she can attack again, apologizing for almost killing her and leaving her behind. This causes Fana's childhood memories of Mars to overlap her memories of the Elven village, resulting in the third eye disappearing. They are finally happily reunited. Following Fana's defeat, she reveals that she survived her gambit of having Mars kill her for his freedom. She was eventually found by Licht after being discarded by the Diamond Kingdom, revealing that her body was controlled by another who was also named Fana. When the group is attacked by Ladros, Fana finds that magic has also disappeared with the possessing spirit. Asta engages in a duel with Ladros which results in Asta draining his magic by stabbing his sword through Ladros' chest. Asta refuses to let Ladros mock his friends, as they all support each other and make each other stronger. He attempts to defeat Ladros, but he captures Fana to force Salamander to reappear, absorbing the spirit to increase his strength as he subjects Asta to a barrage of fireballs. Meanwhile, the Witch Queen uses her magic to awaken Asta's true self. Asta awakens with one half of his body glowing with black magic. He and Ladros duel fiercely, while the Witch Queen reveals Asta normally only releases a little anti-magic at a time. With her blood inside him, however, the anti-magic pours out uncontrollably and will eventually turn him into an anti-magic demon. Asta destroys Ladros' implanted magic stones to defeat him. When Asta reveals his intentions to help the injured and demands Ladros heal quickly so he can apologize to everyone for his actions, Ladros accepts defeat. With the black magic disappeared, Asta decides he wants to master the devil's power. However, the Witch Queen seizes control of Asta's body with her blood control technique, since she cannot use his anti-magic sword herself, and traps everyone else. To test her new power, she has Asta kill everyone. Story continues with Asta tries killing Noel, but he instinctively stops. Meanwhile, the Queen tells Vanessa that her escape and eventual return to the forest was predestined. Enraged by this revelation, and, after remembering her past life with the bulls, Vanessa finally awakens her grimoire's most powerful thread magic, a red cat formed from the red thread of fate, which has the power to alter destiny itself. The cat touches Asta just as he decapitates Noel, but time is quickly reversed, and Noel survives. The Queen tries killing both Finral and the cat, to no effect. Hoping to steal Vanessa's ability to alter fate for herself, the Queen attempts to kill her, but is easily defeated. Vanessa explains that the cat will only protect her and those she considers family, therefore the Queen can never control fate. Having realized that Vanessa wanted to spread happiness towards others with her thread magic, the Queen accepts defeat and heals everyone. In the aftermath, the Queen gives her earring to Asta, explaining that it is actually a magic stone originally belonging to elves who were massacred by humans 500 years ago. The third eye that the Midnight Sun possess is forbidden magic only elves can perform, as was the great demon defeated by the first Wizard King, which was summoned by the elves' leader. She further reveals Asta's anti-magic swords are the remnants of the swords wielded by the elves' leader. Mars returns to the Diamond Kingdom intending to use the Witch Queen's blood control to control the king, shut down the military's experiments and make the Diamond Kingdom peaceful. Ladros decides to help him. The bulls return to their headquarters and give the stone to Yami. They also find that the other bulls have returned from their various quests to find the cure for Asta's arms. Locke and Magna have grown far more powerful by defeating a dungeon. Gordon and Gauche have become nerds after spending too long in the king's library, and Charmy and Gray have become infested with mushroom spores from the forests. The bulls then celebrate their victory. The Star Festival is approaching, during which the Wizard King will reveal which Magic Knight squad has earned the most stars. Asta invites Kahono and Kyoto to the festival and gives them a vial of the Witch Queen's blood, restoring Kyoto's leg and Kahono's voice. Kyoto is still in love with Noel while Kahono, seeing that Noel is failing to profess her feelings for Asta, clings to Asta, hoping to make Noel jealous enough to confess. When this fails, she takes them to a haunted house to scare Noel into Asta's arms. But this also fails when Seki, who is using the haunted house to impress women, is mistaken by Asta for one of Raid's Spiritos zombies. Kahono asks Asta what he thinks of Noel, but before he answers, they reunite a lost child with her mother. Noel uses her status as a royal to shame the other nearby nobles for their arrogance. Asta decides that he likes Noel a lot. Kahono hopes Noel will finally tell Asta she likes him too, but is disappointed when Noel hits him. Yami engages in a duel with the Green Mantis captain, Jack the Ripper. Noel finds Asta working at a grilled squid stall with Yami, who is competing against Jack the Ripper and Seki, who are working at a grilled meat stall. Neither stall is attracting customers. Yami and Jack resort to increasingly childish games before deciding to duel instead. Yami has Finral teleport everybody to the cave where the bulls first fought licked. Disguising himself as an elderly man, the Wizard King follows to observe. As they duel, Yami almost uses Dark Cloak Dimension Slash, which he used to kill Veto. Seki and the bulls worry that either Jack or Yami might die. The Wizard King freezes everybody with time magic, casts a spell that causes Yami and Jack's pants to fall, and then unfreezes them. With their underwear exposed, Yami and Jack call it a draw and return to their stalls. Noelle, having heard Seki claim that only close friends can fight so seriously, tells Asta she would not mind fighting him, though Asta misses the point entirely. Yami and Jack get in another fight, and when Asta tries to intervene, he is thrown into the air again. When he lands, he spots a beautiful woman he feels he has seen somewhere before. An arrogant nobleman, Baron Balma, tries to force the woman to be his partner, but she defeats him with thorn magic, revealing herself to be Charlotte Roselay, captain of the Blue Roses. Charlotte is embarrassed when Yami sees her in a dress instead of her captain's uniform. Vanessa arrives, and the two women instinctively develop a jealous rivalry over Yami. Vanessa challenges Charlotte to a duel, but to avoid a fight, Finral turns the duel into a cosplay contest. The cosplay contest ends in a draw after Charlotte becomes embarrassed and scares away the audience. Vanessa challenges her to a drinking contest, but as Vanessa is already drunk, she passes out quickly. In a flashback, an 18-year-old Charlotte loses control of her powers, and despite her efforts in breaking the curse, she almost destroys an entire city until Yami rescues her. The curse is broken as a result. In the present, Yami assures Charlotte she can ask others for help and then finishes her drink for her. The indirect kiss embarrasses Charlotte so much she passes out as well, and the drinking contest is declared a draw. The ceremony to announce the squad's achievements begins. Only Captains Yami and Charlotte are now late. The Wizard King announces the Golden Dawn has come in first place, and to everybody's surprise the Black Bulls have risen from last to second place. The crowd begins to accuse the Bulls of cheating until Kahono, Kyoto and Rebecca defend them. Yami throws Asta onto the stage next to Yuno. Seki attempts to mock them by revealing their origins as peasants, but they display their powers, impressing the crowd. The Silver Eagles are outraged they scored less than Noelle did. The Clover King arrives and announces he has located the Midnight Sun's hideout and is forming a squad of royal knights to destroy them. This earns him some of the crowd's respect until Asta asks why the king can choose the royal knights when he has personally done nothing to help the kingdom. The king sentences Asta and Yuno to death, forcing the Wizard King to intervene. The Wizard King warns Asta and Yuno the Royal Knight exam will be extremely difficult for rookies like themselves. Asta and Yuno witness the Crimson Lion's new leader, Marileona Vermilion, punishing her squad for only making it to 5th place. The story continues with, Marileona, the violent older sister of Fugolian, is disappointed that the Crimson Lion had came in 5th place. Asta and Yuno watches from aside, while Marileona lectures the Crimson Lion. Asta realizes that she is Fugolian and Leo's older sister. She speaks badly about Fugolian, that he's not fit to be their captain. After hearing this, Leo and the other members of the Crimson Lion protest that he is the best Magic Knight captain and that he cared about every member in the Clover Kingdom. Leo tells her that he won't have her insult their captain. However, she punches him and says that they should prove that they are the best team in the Clover Kingdom. Leo and Asta immediately admire her intensity. She announces she is taking the Lions on hot spring training and insists Asta and Yuno also come along. Leo advises them to obey as Marileona is the uncrowned undefeated lioness, even stronger than Fugolian. Elsewhere in a bar, the squad captains are having a celebration of their achievement. Yami brags for outranking the other captains. Meanwhile, Marileona finds Yami in a bar. She captures him and Charlotte's subordinate, Sol Marin, and Noelle, announcing they all need training. The Wizard King, disguised as a bartender, watches them leave. The hot spring turns out to be on top of the constantly erupting Yultum volcano, set above a well of powerful mana. Despite the dangerous levels of heat, everyone races to the top using their own magic to protect themselves from it. Yami realizes this is the point of Marileona's training. Noelle becomes more determined after Marileona compliments her on how much she has become like her mother. Asta finds that as the heat is natural, not magical, his swords are useless, and he nearly passes out. Marileona warns him that ascending the volcano without magic is impossible and advises him to quit, but Asta is determined to get to the top with his strength alone. Asta realizes his usual tactics will not work and decides to try the power of the anti-magic demon. By using key detection on himself, Asta senses the anti-magic energy within his sword and succeeds in increasing the anti-magic in his body, causing half his body to become covered in black magic. However, as he cannot yet control the black magic, it pulls him wildly into the air. The other magic knights are blocked by a lava monster, but Asta flies straight through its chest and continues upwards, even passing Yuno. Mereoleona punches him to stop his uncontrolled flight. Asta is happy he has finally used his power. Mereoleona orders everybody to get in the hot spring together. This causes outrage among the men and women until Sol puts up a mud wall to provide separate bathing areas. Mereoleona reveals to Noelle that her mother, Aesir Silva, was nicknamed Steel Warrior Princess, and Mereoleona never once defeated her. Mereoleona orders Noelle the opportunity to surpass her mother in her own way. Meanwhile, Yami demands the men partake in the tradition of peeping at the women, passing it off as a male-only training exercise. Sol responds by raising the wall even higher while the Crimson Lions try desperately to climb it. Asta refuses to peep out of loyalty to Sister Lily. Xerx Lugner, vice captain of the Purple Orcus, arrives for the Royal Knight exam and immediately bullies an elderly woman. For this he is brutally defeated by Zora, who steals his purple orca robe. Noelle's brother, Solid, attempts to make her nervous by telling her to leave before she embarrasses herself, but having received encouragement from Mereoleona at the hot springs, she stands up to him. The Clover King announces the exam will consist of team battles. Each team must destroy a crystal held by an opposing team whilst defending their own crystal. The aim is to find teams that can cooperate with other teams, as they would if they had to face the Midnight Sun in battle. Asta finds himself teamed with Mimosa and Xerx, though Xerx's place is taken by Zora, who claims to be Xerx. Since no one has ever actually seen Xerx, they cannot prove he is lying. With all the teams identified, they are teleported to the exam battlefield, where Noelle realizes her first battle will be against Solid's team. The Wizard King announces the first battle will be Asta's team against a team of 3 unknown magic knights, so let the battle begins. As Asta, Mimosa and Zora discuss a strategy, their crystal is attacked by the enemy team consisting of Rick Cornell of the Coral Peacocks, 40 Gris of the Crimson Lions and Curtis Wolm of the Silver Eagles. Asta and Mimosa realize that Zora has gone to sleep. Mimosa suggests they move towards the enemy so Asta can destroy their crystal directly. Mimosa attacks with her flower cannon magic, forcing the enemy team to defend their crystal. They split up and Asta rushes towards Curtis, who has his team's crystal, but Rick and 40 surround Mimosa to attack their crystal while Asta is caught by a paralysis trap. As they all attack Mimosa, their spells are absorbed by more trap spells, magnified and reflected back towards them, defeating them instantly. While Mimosa heals Asta, it is revealed that the traps were Zora's ash magic, and with the enemy incapacitated, Zora destroys their crystal while humiliating Curtis. Asta's team are declared the winners. The next team to fight is Sol, Magna and Kirsch Vermilion of the Coral Peacocks, Mimosa's embarrassing and egotistical older brother. Kirsch mocks Asta's attempts to overcome his lack of magic with strength training. As Kirsch's team begin their duel, Asta asks why Zora is taking the exam, as earlier he said he had another more important goal, but is unsuccessful. Despite being a narcissist, Kirsch expertly shows Sol and Magna how to better utilize their spells in combat, and they win the match. Finral is teamed with Leopold of the Crimson Lions and Hammond of the Golden Dawn, and they easily win their match, with Finral teleporting Leopold and Hammond around the battlefield like he learned to do with Asta. Finral's brother, Langris, is teamed with Seki and Flagell Tormenta of the Aqua Deers, but Langris wins the match mostly by himself, using his spatial magic to simply slice their opponent's crystal in half before mocking Finral's magic as inferior to his own. Finral vows not to lose the exam against Langris. Finral worries he made a mistake by challenging his brother. As round 5 of the exam begins, one of the participants, calling himself Mage X, is revealed to be Rill Boismortier, captain of the Aqua Deers. He is accompanied by Walter, the overdramatic and incredibly fast butler to the Boismortier family, who is happy Rill befriended Asta. As the duel starts, Rill is quickly captured by the opposing team. Walter remembers that Rill was never able to create the paintings he wanted to, so his magic ran out of control, frequently destroying the family castle and driving his mother to despair. After accidentally injuring Walter, he suggests Rill join the Magic Knights so he could create beautiful art in battle, eventually becoming the youngest captain in history. Rill finally reveals his ultimate magic, to use any type of magic simply by painting it, and defeats the enemy team by painting spells they were weak against. In the next match, Luck is teamed with Klaus and Pulley Angel from the Blue Roses. Klaus worries that their opposing team contains Rob Vitesse, a wind magic user from the Silver Eagles. So that's it for today, guys. If you enjoyed this video, remember to leave a like and subscribe for more recaps. Until next time, goodbye.